Dedication of the temple, the seventh day, January 25th, 2025. Welcome back, family. Let's dig in. It's getting exciting. So, for time's sake, I am going to start taking all of the codes and the Strong's alignments with the numbers, and I will be putting those in my community post from now on so we can make these videos a little bit shorter. The amount of signs that I have to show today are crazy, and so we're just going to go ahead and dig in. And as I said, later on this evening, I will be able to get all the codes done and put those all up in my community post. I'm going to ask all my subs to please start visiting my community posts more. That means you're going to have to jump on your computers. You won't be able to do it from your phone. But there's a lot of very important information in there, and I'm going to be doing a lot more in the community because I need to differentiate all of that stuff from the Stellarium videos. So we're just going to focus on Stellarium today and knock out all these signs. It's just become incredible. We're going to start here today, January 25th. This morning at 12:30, we have the sun entering into the Capricorn temple. This is an incredibly important area of the Mazzaroth, as this is our next division in the quarters of heaven, and it represents a finish and a new beginning. It's seen as death and resurrection, and it's pointing exactly to the time that we are looking for. This is the bridegroom entering into another temple, and this leads into this day because this is our seventh day with Mazzaroth, dedication of the temple, and here we see the bridegroom coming into the temple on the seventh day. Also, I'm going to point out, I put the information in my community post. They just made a new discovery. It's Asteroid 2025 BK. I haven't been able to pull it up on Stellarium yet, at least on the web version. If any of you out there have another version, the online version does not, the web version doesn't allow me to see that yet. I'm sure they'll load that trajectory and I'll be able to start tracking that. So the next, we're going to go to sign number 3, and that is going to be Abigreene. And this is another main belt asteroid, and Abigreene is joining our little parade of asteroids that we were talking about in the last video. Now we're seeing Abigreene, and this is going to happen at 3:09. Let's go ahead and take a look, and we'll get it up exactly on the time that it makes its alignment. Um, Sometimes these, I've been noticing some variations. If any of you are using Stellarium Web, let me know if you notice these variations. I keep getting sometimes a 10-minute, I'll go back and forth and there'll be a 10-minute discrepancy. So let me know if you notice that. I'm going to send a note to Stellarium, um, but I'd like some feedback on that if any of you notice the same thing. So here we are, we're looking at Asteroid Abigreene, and we were talking about Eunomia and also Vaticana, and now we're seeing that they're all aligning with Jupiter and the head of Taurus. And as we said, the head of Taurus is where the Hyades, or what they call the wise virgins, and we're looking at a very important sign. Again, just for time's sake, we're going to put all of these codes in our community posts, and we will be doing that tonight. So this is essentially 3 a.m. in the morning. My last look at this was 3:09, and now it's saying, let's look at this time again. Now it's saying 2:51. So you're looking at almost a 20-minute differentiation from my last observation. Now, this is in the house of Taurus, the constellation of the Bull, and Jupiter is the ruling planet. And as we know, Jupiter is a reflection of Messiah, and Jupiter has been between the horns of Taurus, and this is a position like the king's seat, and Jupiter is the king planet. And if you know anything about the alignments of Jupiter during the birth of Christ, these are very, very important signs for us to watch. Jupiter is one of the most important signs of Messiah, and we see Jupiter approaching the horn of Taurus also. That's going to come up in one of our next coming up videos. But Jupiter is fast approaching the horn of Taurus now, and we see this alignment with Abigreene, Eunomia, Vaticana, and Jupiter all in the what we would call the edge of the Silver Gate, and it is also after what we call the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic. This is the entrance into the gates, and it's a very important part of the Mazzaroth, and so we're seeing these really, really amazing signs happening today in the heavens. Next, we're going to go to Alex Curtis. Alexa Curtis. And here we see, family, another asteroid pointing to the Tabernacle. This alignment is at 5, just after 5. Let's get it up here, and we'll move it even a little closer. And So here we are at 5:04, and see, this one is aligning exactly with my last observation. So I'm just seeing some weird things with stellarium, and I'm going to put it out there as a question to the body. Let's see if this is something that's happening across the board, and we need to let stellarium know that there's some glitches in the system. So Alexa Curtis enters the Tabernacle at 5:04 a.m. this morning, and we can see that the moon, the bride, is quickly approaching the Golden Gate, which is the Milky Way, and she's already inside of the edge of the gate, and once she crosses over the dark rift, then she enters into the tabernacle, and that is going to be a coming up sign. We're just going over the times of these alignments, and once you see what's happening with the moon and Alexa Curtis in this tabernacle, it's showing us more bridal signs. It's like Alexa Curtis is uh, going in before the bride to prepare the tabernacle. We already saw that happening through from December and January. It's as if all of these signs were preparation for the great wedding in heaven, and we are seeing the final signs of preparation. So Alexa Curtis enters the tabernacle 5:04 a.m. today. Now our next sign, number 5, is asteroid Psyche, and we were talking about that in our last video with the alignment of Enki and the water stream. And now today, basically an hour later, we see Psyche align with the water stream of Aquarius. And this is a very, very important sign here in the heavens because all of these signs are tied. Psyche is essentially the soul, and you can even see it here if you go over to this Wikipedia. On the left side, you'll see some basic information about Psyche, and you can see Psyche is the Greek term for soul. And so what we're looking at is Aquarius pouring out this can be the blessing, and it can also be seen that this is the dual sign. It can be seen as a blessing, as in anointing, and it can also be a curse, as in the tribulation is coming and judgment is about to be poured out. And so Psyche is there with Enki. And if you know anything about Sumerian lore or their religious system, then you'll understand that Enki was the god of the underworld or the waters. He was depicted as a sea goat. Capricorn is also a representation of that sea goat, and we'll be going into details about that in our moon goddess decode. So we will be bringing more information about that out very soon. And here we have Saturn let's go ahead and take a look closer, and you can see that the ruling planet of Aquarius is Saturn, and Venus and Neptune are both out of Aquarius, and they are in the constellation of Pisces. So this can be seen as because of Enki and Saturn, which sometimes they're associated together. This can be seen as a heavy judgment sign, and with the state of our nation and the state of the world, this makes perfect sense that we are looking at the edge of the judgment. And with the signs I have coming up very soon, it's jaw-dropping at what's being shown to us in the heavens, and all these things are all like a perfect script. You can't make any of these things up. This is happening today at 6:09 a.m. These are all happening in the same day. Very, very strong language of judgment, and we can also see Psyche as a dual sign of Aquarius, pouring out blessings on the bride of Messiah, because there are two sides to this equation. Now let's go to sign number 6, and we're going to be looking at another Alex, and this is Alex Graves, and this is Alex Graves entering into, or this is the alignment of this asteroid. Excuse me, fam, still having some issues. So more prayer would be appreciated. But we can see Dembowska still is in the altar. And now we're seeing another asteroid. And I've just been digging through my list. And sometimes I catch them in time because there's been so many signs that I haven't even been able to keep up. So here we see Alex Graves, and this is another sign inside of the altar, and this asteroid is coming out, and as you saw, Dembowska is right behind inside of the altar. And so we're still seeing our signs of the altar, and that lets us know that we have more wedding signs. These are all connected to the wedding sign, and all of these are connected today. This is Alex Graves, and this is happening at the end of the day, and this alignment is happening at 22:09. I want to check this again really quick because I have a different time. See, this is showing a different time than my last observation was 22:02, which would be 10:02 p.m. and now it's showing 22:09. It's just off, but that is a differentiation. So here we're looking at Alex Graves exiting the altar of Libra on January the 25th. That's this evening at 10. We'll just say 10:10 as a sign of this asteroid leaving the altar of Libra and entering into the scales. And remember, we have multiple. We have Biela. You can see a comet Biela, and we also have Juno and Esther are both in the constellation of Libra still. They won't show up unless I pull them up. But we've already discussed that in our last videos. And so we're going to keep moving forward for time's sake. We're looking at Alex Graves, 10:10 essentially this evening, exiting the altar. The next thing we're going to go do is look at the moon transition into the Tabernacle. We're going to take a close look at the timing, and we can see here that at the very end of the day, moving into tomorrow morning, we have the moon entering into the altar, the tabernacle, excuse me, in the constellation of Sagittarius. And we can see that this is happening early in the morning, and this is a very, very important sign of the wedding. This is sort of a completion of what we needed to see in the heavens for the bridal signs. A couple more signs that are coming up with the moon that are incredibly powerful. But this on the tomorrow morning, early in the morning before sunrise, we're looking at the moon entering into the tabernacle. And this can also be seen as the ark or the boat. And this is our sign number 7. And now we're going to go into our final sign for the day. We have 8 signs to show you today, and these are all connecting. And we're going to be looking at Asteroid Groom, and it is making its alignment with Orion tomorrow morning, or actually this is just afternoon. Here we see Asteroid Groom making its alignment with the constellation of Orion. This is a very powerful sign, especially if you take into consideration the other signs that we were just talking about in Auriga and in Taurus. This location in the Mazzaroth is right on the Milky Way, and you can see that Groom is actually right on the edge of the border of the Milky Way, which on this side is called the Silver Gate. Again, we're getting a gate sign, and as we talked about, I believe it was in our last video, we talked about how Auriga and Orion are the guardians of the gate. and we're seeing Asteroid Groom aligning with the guardian of the gate, and the gates can be seen as portals. If you look over on the left, we see Asteroid Groom, the information for Asteroid Groom, and if you read the Wikipedia information, it says a bridegroom. And I'll let you go ahead and do your own research into this, but I found something very, very, very powerful. We have been working on the 128 code, and we believe we have all of our final signs happening on January the 28th for the bride. And another sign appeared to me in this hunt, and I wanted to share that with you. If you look over at this alignment, let's get this time up. Here we are. It's January the 26th, 2025 at 12:25. Asteroid Groom makes its alignment with Orion at 1.43 astronomical units. Now, I want you to watch what happens when I go to the 28th. The distance becomes 1.44 astronomical units. You cannot make this stuff up. We have literally dozens of codes all aligning for January the 28th, and the signs that I have in the heavens are staggering. It looks as if the completion of all of the wedding signs are about to be manifested right before our eyes. And today we are looking at day 7 and day 8 of the dedication of the temple. Now again, we are the temple of Messiah. We are the stones that build the New Jerusalem. And so we have to look at this as a sign for us, the new temple that is about to be built in the kingdom, and we are getting our final signs, and the bridegroom is showing us the way. Welcome back, family. The more we dig in, the more we discover, and these discoveries keep leading us to our bridegroom. And I just wanted to add this because it's very important. We're getting some heavenly language that is trying to lead us to our master, and all we have to do is allow his signs in the sun and the moon and the stars to lead our way. Much love, family.